Hey, how's it going? Yuri back with you. It's Friday, and I'm actually just about to head out of the house we're going to see Sesame Street live today. That's right. We're taking Oscar to see Elmo dance around, and he's gonna be like, and all this crazy stuff. So that's gonna be fun. But before we go, obviously I gotta put together this video for you. So I'm gonna put together our Friday FAQ video. And I've got two questions that I'm going to be answering for you today. Again, if I keep looking down or away, I was kind of looking at different reference points, computer stuff, and obviously notes. So, first question has to do with sugar. The other day, I just put up or kind of reposted a previous video about how sugar makes you fat and sick and everything else. And I just had some follow-up questions to that. For instance, Corey wants to know how much of a difference is it if it comes from fruit. So let me quickly answer this. So how much of a difference does it make if the sugar is coming from fruit? There's a huge difference. If you're eating high fructose corn syrup or malt sugar or any of that other added nonsense to your foods, that is not the same at all compared to natural fruit if you're eating an apple or an orange in its whole state. The only caveat to this is that, and this is one of the reasons I don't recommend juicing fruit. Okay, putting fruit in smoothies is fine because you still retain the fiber, but if you juice fruit, okay, there's nothing wrong with juicing vegetables, but if you juice fruit, you are going to bypass all the fiber that comes with those fruit, and a lot of that fructose, a lot of that sugar in the fruit is going to be just like an onslaught of absorption into the liver, which is going to be, it's going to back up that whole liver breakdown process, and about 30% of sugar intake is stored as fat. So we want to slow down that absorption from the stomach into the liver. Now, if you're juicing fruit, so if you're going to go crazy with just like an all fruit juice, that's not a great idea because you're going to limit the amount of fiber coming in, and obviously limits, or you're not putting a limit on the absorption of that sugar going into the liver. So that's not a great thing. If you eat fruit by itself, if you eat 10 apples a day, that's not a problem. Okay, there's nothing wrong with eating fruit. If anyone tells you that there's an issue with eating fruit, tell them to, again, since the beginning of time, when have people got fat and sick from eating natural foods? Never, okay? So I don't care what other people say, I don't care what the fructose arguments, all that other nonsense. There's no problem with fruit sugar if fruit are eaten in their whole state, okay? Eating the apple, not apple juice or orange juice, okay? Just another follow-up question. How many grams would you recommend be our limit for men and women? Again, I don't count calories, I don't count grams, I don't believe you should either. You eat till you're satiated, okay? You eat to when your body feels comfortably full, okay? And that's it. You're gonna get the nutrition you need if you're eating natural whole foods. Don't worry about if you've got 5 apples in there. It doesn't matter, okay? If you have 10 apples, 5 apples, you just wanna get lots of fruits and vegetables in on a daily basis, don't worry about counting the calories or the grams. That becomes more of an issue if you're doing the Weight Watchers thing and you're eating processed garbage foods in the first place, where you need to probably count calories and portion sizes. But if you're eating natural whole foods, that doesn't become an issue, okay? So that's the first question with respect to sugar. I just wanted to clarify that kind of stuff. And the second question has to do with habits. Just a really quick question here. Yuri, I tend to fall back into my old habits. How do you recommend I stop and create new ones? Well, this is a great question, and I think it's a really important one to talk about. And this is one of the reasons why we've put together our habit conditioning audios and the habit conditioning or the health habit mastery handbook that come with the Super Nutrition Academy, because it's not just about learning this stuff. It's not just about education, because knowing this stuff is important. If you know that sugar is bad for you, then you're not going to want to eat it. However, if you don't recondition your body to change its habits, then you're still going to go back into your old habits. So I want to share with you, again, just from one of my favorite magazines, Psychology Today. They actually have a really cool article on this very topic. Okay, so it says get out of the groove, and this is about changing habits, and this is actually what they talk about is very similar to the stuff that we use in Super Nutrition Academy for bettering habits. And in Super Nutrition Academy, if you're not already a student, just to kind of fill you in, we focus on developing one new habit a month, because it takes about 30 days to create a new habit, and we look at creating 12 habits over the course of the year. And we tackle different things depending on the topic of conversation during that particular module. Anyways, so here's, I'm just going to go kind of reference off this article and kind of use my own experience here. So what I recommend is, first of all, you have to identify the cue. Okay, you have a cue and a reward. Okay, so a cue can be something like it's past dinner, it's after dinner, and that is a cue for dessert. Okay, so the reward would normally be dessert. Does that make sense? So here's what we need to do. The idea here is that if you choose a routine ahead of time, okay, when that cue presents itself, you will be better equipped to know what to do, okay? Because a lot of times we just fall back into our habits, okay? So what we want to do is we want to foresee better alternatives so that when that cue, the after dinner experience comes about, we already know what we're going to do. So as an example, let's say after dinner you feel like you need some kind of sweet indulgence, and sometimes that's fine, as I'm going to show you actually next week. I've got a really cool video for you about this topic. But anyways, for today, let's say you want a sweet kind of desserty indulgence. Well, if you know ahead of time a healthier alternative that will still give you that sense of satiation, then already you're ahead of the game. Whereas if you don't have that kind of planned out ahead of time, you're falling back into whatever's available. Old routines, old habits. You might be going to candy bars, M&Ms, cakes, pastries, whatever it is. But if you can foresee ahead of time that you know this is going to happen because you know you're going to have dinner, but you know generally that you're going to want to have something after dinner. So if you can prepare ahead of time with a healthier option for dessert or something other that will something other than a dessert that will give you that same reward, then that will equip you to a much greater degree and help you control that behavior much more easily. So I'm going to give you another example here. I just slipped my mind. It just slipped my mind. Okay, so another way you can do this is by unlocking what they call a keystone habit. And this is a habit that literally becomes a catalyst or like a cascade of events that happens as a result of doing this thing, okay? So let me give you an example from my own life. What I've realized, and this actually is really interesting how this kind of changed throughout the years, and changes actually throughout the season as well. So this if it happens to you as well, that's pretty cool. So what I've realized is that in the morning, I need to, it's funny, I'm going to actually contradict myself to previous information I've shared with you. In the morning, if I can get a good sweat on, if I can get outside and I can get a great interval run in, or if I can get an intense workout in, that in and of itself, that initial act of exercise not forces me, but actually facilitates me to be able to eat a lot healthier throughout the day. Okay? So that for me, that would be a keystone habit. And for whatever reason, I don't know why this has come about. I went through a period where I was doing yoga every single morning, and then the weather got better, so I started getting outside, getting to the forest, doing some interval runs with the dogs. Sometimes I'm working out intensely in the morning with weights. It changes, okay? But you have to identify that keystone habit that's going to unlock everything else and make things a lot easier for you. So in my case, for instance, if I sleep in, for whatever reason, because I'm hard on myself sometimes, I'm just like, well, whatever. This is a great start to the day. So therefore, I'm not going to be as motivated to wake up, make a green juice, and get my day started on the right foot. Okay? Do you see the difference there? So the two scenarios here is I get up early, I get in a great workout, I'm sweating, you get that sense of euphoria, so you feel good already. And you don't want to just destroy that by eating garbage afterwards, right? You want to continue that. So now you feel great about yourself. Therefore, you're going to make a better decision about the foods you bring into your body. So therefore, at that point, I'm more prone to making a green smoothie, green juice, versus if I sleep in, then I feel crappy about the fact that I slept in, I didn't get up and I didn't do my workout, I didn't do what I said I was going to do in the morning. So therefore, I don't feel as good about myself at that moment. Therefore, the chain of events that's going to follow is going to be one of, I'm not going to choose the healthiest food unless I snap out of this, okay? Unless I snap this pattern and do something to interrupt that. So do you see how that works? So again, in the morning for me, the keystone habit would be getting up, getting that exercise in, because that's going to start the cascade of events that is going to lead to awesome stuff throughout the day. So you need to identify what is the keystone habit for you. What is that habit? What is that act? What is that activity that when you do it makes everything else like spot on, whether it's in business or school or relationships? What is that one thing you can do that will catapult you to amazing success? For instance, in business, a lot of people advise As Brian Tracy once said, eat the frog, which means that the first thing you do in the morning is the most important thing. You get it out of the way. Because when you do that, the momentum has been created. You've tackled the most important thing, and now you just ride the momentum out for the rest of the day. Versus kind of checking email and wasting time doing other things, and then procrastinating and never actually getting that thing done. So get the most important thing done first thing in the morning. And I think that really holds to be true in a lot of areas of life. Okay, so fitness and health, business, relationships, whatever else. So there we go. That's today's video. Hopefully those questions and answers have helped you out. Hope you have a great weekend, and be sure to stay tuned early next week because as I previously mentioned, I have a video coming for you on Monday, which is really, really interesting with respect to this topic of dessert and sweets and stuff. So do not miss that. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you then.